everybody. So I had so much fun in my last video that I thought, and I had the idea of making conversation hearts. So we're going to do kind of the same thing, but it's a different version. So I still have my pencil and I have my template per se. We're going to make 5 of these. Usually conversation hearts are pink, purple, orange, yellow, and maybe green. So if I get inspired with another color, I'll make another color. All right, so same thing. I'm just gonna outline with my cookie cutter. Or sometimes a heart-shaped box would work, like for Valentine's Day chocolate. Any kind of heart-shaped template would also work, but these cookie cutters seem to be quite plentiful around this time, so. All right. And we'll make one more. I think I'm just going to stick to the 5. All right, so I've got my hearts just like the last video. So my color palette is going to be very similar at the start. So I do have red, I do have white, so I am going to make a pink. And so I'm going to take a scoop of white and a scoop of red to get a nice base pink. Kind of like a bubblegum pink. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay that on there. You can go outside the lines. The pencil mark should show through, so you should see where your cut mark will be when you go to cut it out later. We just want full coverage, so going outside the lines is probably a good thing. All right, this needs to be a lot lighter because the conversation hearts usually are lighter. So we'll leave the dark, but then soften it up. Just a nice softer pink. And sometimes it's easier blending the color on your actual canvas or art project space. Well, I'm even thinking lighter, like really pastel. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Just soften it up a little. I'm also kind of forcing the paint into the paper and then I'm flattening it out. You don't really want any chunks on this. All right, I'm going to clean off my brush and do a lavender. And I think I need more white because we're going to get really pastel with this. So I have a dark blue and I have a red and I have white. So I'm trying to go for a lavender. So the proportions for this, I think I'm going to do a scoop of white and a touch of red and a touch of blue, just to get a nice soft lavender. That's way lighter. That's perfect. All right. You just want to go ahead and mush it in there and just really try to get the paper to soak up your paint. All right, there is the light purple. So I think I want to do a minty green. So I've got a phthalo green, and this particular color, when you mix it with the white, it's more of a minty color. It somehow has the absence of yellow and just kind of turns more minty. I'm going to take a scoop of white and a dab of that green and mix that together to get a nice minty green. And we're going to use a little touch of water for this so that the paper soaks it up. All right, and I think I'll make a light orange, and then after that I will make a light yellow. So I'm putting both colors on my palette, so I don't have to break for that. So cleaning my brush, same proportion, a scoop of white and a little touch. I'm going to add a little scoop of yellow. Actually, let's just do a 1-1 proportion. We want a really soft, pretty yellow. And go ahead and paint that in, go outside the lines, make sure the whole canvas isn't like covered, or inside the lines, all the canvas is covered. I'm just flattening out the paint. All right, cleaning off my brush, I'm going to create kind of a creamsicle orange. So I'm going to do a scoop of white. And a touch of orange. Let's do 2 touches of orange. And then we'll go ahead and, oh, it looks a little skin tone, so I'm going to add another little touch of orange. And there we go, nice pretty pastel orange. All right, and we will just let this dry, and then when we come back, we'll put sayings on this. You should think of fun sayings, like, you know, the traditional "be mine," anything you can think of, but do something silly, like you the best, or, you know, I don't know, maybe Yoda, hot you are. It's really up to you. Just have fun with this. Think of who you're going to give this to. And, you know, it's Valentine's Day, so you can say any kind of message you want, and be hopeful at love. So anything you can think of. All right, I still had space for one more, and I thought I would do a light blue one. So I took a scoop of white, and I took a scoop of, just a dab of the blue to get a light blue color. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in, just like I did all the other ones, and just let that dry. All right, so hopefully you came up with some fun, clever ideas. I think I'm going to just do classic ones. But you could do funny things like you're lit or you're so fine or I don't know. It's really up to you. But I decided that I have an awesome set of acrylic markers. So I'm going to use those to create my sayings. So I'm going to use red. And red I think is usually the classic. I think another color for the hearts is white, but that's kind of cheating. So we're not going to do that. So I think the most classic one is probably the pink one that says "Be Mine." So it's probably easier for you to use your natural handwriting, but you can just kind of figure out where you want this to go. And maybe go back over with another thicker stroke. And sometimes when you get the original classic conversation hearts, they're stamped on and sometimes they're not stamped on well. So can't really mess up as far as your writing, but you know, probably should have made that uppercase, but I don't know, I like the dot. All right, so I may go over that with a little bit of red paint, but at least we have the background underneath. Yeah, it's a little trickier to do that with actual paint. So we can do this one. Let's just do the traditional I love you. And then thicken it up a little. While the acrylic markers are nice, I don't think they have enough saturation. And I also don't have enough light. So let me turn on the light. You can see that better. And really, these are just fun. So you can have them say whatever you want them to say. They're just the traditional conversation hearts. All right, let's see, what other kind of ideas can we get here? Let's do maybe kiss me, true love. All right, maybe this one, kiss me. And I don't know, that one's still drying. Let's go. It's mostly dry, but well, okay. It's dry in the center, so let's just go XO, 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 and then thicken it up. All right, maybe this one can say true love. Still wet. All right, true love, and now we need one more. Well, while we're talking about it, what would you like to write on there? Maybe you can give other people suggestions in the comments, or let's see. We've got be mine, I love you, kiss me, true love, XOXO. Let's see. We will go with, well, let's just go with soulmate. Sappy, but yeah. All right. All right, and we'll just thicken this up. Probably should have spaced that a little bit better. Oh well, is what it is. All right, so there we have all of them. I'm thinking it might be a good idea to go back over with some red paint. Although, you know what, they look actually pretty okay. Maybe we can go, I wonder if one more coat will, nope, doesn't do anything. All right, so it's really up to you. I'm not gonna do it, but if you wanna get some red paint and go back over and make it a little more saturated, you can. You can also use pencil to kind of put on where you want your words to go. And maybe space them out a little bit better, but yeah. So the only other thing that we need to do now is we need to get our scissors and we need to cut them out. So now that everything is dry, except for my blue one, we are going to just take this and just follow our line. You kind of want to cut the line away, maybe a little on the inside. That way you won't have that line on there. So if you cut just on the inside, you won't see the line. And you're just following it. You can also create a point. I know when we did our stencil, it didn't really have a point, so it was kind of more of a curve, but you can get a point in there. All right, there's one. Let's go ahead and do the other one. Sometimes it's easier just to cut away at the specific one you're working on. Just a little easier. But you just want to cut away. All right, and there we have it. We have our sweetheart. So this is our conversation heart. So this really is kind of a fun project if you want to do like a centerpiece or decorate for a party, and you know, they're just really simple and easy to do. So you can make a friend night of it. Everybody draws their own and then they come up with some funny conversation hearts. Anyway, you can also like poke maybe a hole in them, or get a hole punch and then use string and create kind of a banner for this so that you can hang it on the wall. But just really a fun project, and just easy peasy, but definitely effective. They do indeed look like the conversation hearts. So anyway, you guys, so here's the final product with my conversation hearts. Really easy to do. You can write a message in the back, give them away, just say whatever you want to say. This is the time to say what's on your mind that you don't normally say. But this is the conversation heart project. If you check out my other video, I created more Valentines with lace, and really easy to do, kind of cottagecore. Very kind of romantic and sweet and kind of nostalgic, and you know, sort of even like a like a Victorian way. So kind of historical too. But anyway, you guys, lots of conversation hearts and doily hearts, and you can make your own Valentine's Day. So on a budget, this is a great project for decorating, great project too. Anyway, you guys, thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing.